right, let's go back to our focus story. Rolling blackouts will be with us for the foreseeable future. We've seen local power grids taking strain from the continuous switching on and off. But what about your household appliances? Well, will your insurance in particular cover the breakdowns? Let's find out from insurance expert Christelle Coleman. Christelle, hopefully second time will work out for us. I know with load shedding it is a bit of a struggle. Now, what I was saying a bit earlier was that beyond load shedding negatively impacting the economy, which we've all dissected extensively, there's a real risk of damage to people's property as the result, be it of power surges, fires, as well as crime. So how do we mitigate that risk?
Well, I can't believe we've been talking about this for 15 years already. The most important thing is to start with what you can do that doesn't cost any money. So we've been advising our policyholders and clients over the years to make sure that you don't leave any of your expensive electronic equipment on charge. It's very important to realize that when the power comes back on, we often see the power surges come through the system, and then you see extensive damage to electronic equipment such as TVs, cell phones, laptops. Those are the kind of flames that we see come through. But let's just quickly stand still on the topic of insurance. Not all insurance policies cover you for damage as a result of power surge, which is as a result often of load shedding. So don't just assume because you have insurance that you will be paid out. You have to check with your insurance provider, either your broker or your insurance company, if you have cover against this. But because this is becoming more and more frequent and the claims are starting to pile up and becoming bigger and more, as I said, frequently, it's becoming difficult to insure these items, and it's becoming more expensive as well. So the best advice that I can give you right now is to make sure that you act proactively, and that you make sure that you protect your electronic equipment.
Are any of your clients perhaps getting surprises? Because many now are saying that they would have had the insurance, but when they get there and want to claim, there would be some sort of an excess that they have to pay. Is that what you're seeing of late, particularly when some are being advised to purchase power surge plugs, that if you don't have them, there will be an excess that you might have to pay? Are you seeing a lot of those surprises with clients?
Well, absolutely. The reality is insurance is there for sudden and unforeseen events. And one could argue that load shedding is not sudden and unforeseen anymore. So because the claims are becoming more and more frequent and will have an impact on how much insurance costs for all of us, insurance companies try and minimize the impact of these losses on their portfolio. So it's definitely going to become more difficult and more expensive to get insurance. But you were mentioning the power surge protection, and I know not everyone has access to financial resources to do these things. But these plugs, these power surge protection plugs, are not that expensive as they were, for instance, when we started with load shedding 10, 15 years ago. So I would really recommend that you, even if you have insurance, that you protect the plugs that are used for your electronic equipment with those special power surge protection. And the reality is, insurers are going to stop wanting to insure this risk. We're already seeing it. And you're talking about excesses. That's just the first step. So they say, we'll cover you against power surge. We'll cover you against, load shedding type risks. But you need to install the power surge protection, but we're going to charge an excess. So it's better to prevent rather than just wait for the insurance claim to be submitted.
And then how exposed are those that use generators? Because you would have that the minute when your electricity goes off, your generator within 10 seconds would kick in, but then your lights switch off again. So it means they switched off and then automatically within 10 seconds they switched on. Does that not pose a danger on its own? Because the same thing happens just before electricity comes back, the generator would switch off again so that electricity can then switch on.
I've got a fantastic example for you. About 10 years ago, we received a claim for a client who had a generator installed in his house, and the switch between the generator and the ESCOM power, they weren't home. When it came online, the house actually caught fire, and we ended up with a 15 million rand claim. So it's very important to realize that having these generators or backup power installations in your home, that it is done by a professional and that you do the regular maintenance. We saw the tragic story coming out of some first reports that those children that succumbed in that tavern was because of fumes from a generator, possibly, allegedly. So that can also happen in your home. Generators are not meant to be installed inside. So always think personal safety first. And then secondly, if you want your insurance policy to respond, you have to follow the rules. You have to have it installed by a professional. You have to have it serviced. These are very, very important factors because you don't want your home to burn down because of the generator installation, and then you don't have any cover because you didn't follow the rules. So that's very important, and you have to inform your insurance company that you have these installations and that it has been done, and keep everything on record. Keep your records in the cloud. If you have a fire, you want to be able to access those, or off-site. Your contracts and your installation certificates. Make sure that you keep these things on record. Very important.
Record keeping has become very important, ladies and gentlemen. Christelle, thank you very much for your time. That's insurance expert Christelle Coleman.